nice little Lionel screen, one screen to the right of their start.
I have seen that. It is very painful. That should definitely happen.
Well,
Hey, look at this.
Here we go. Well, you got somewhat of your wish. We're in the grave.
Yes, we are.
So we find a money-making game. So that means caves are shuffled. Let's see what the Armos item is. Well, we know the Armoses have been shuffled, and it's a cave.
What's in it?
And it turns out to be a secret to everybody, and we quickly will turn to our technical director for a timestamp. So we know the Armos is not in the grave, so both of these runners are going to make their way over, and nice screen scrolling that we're going to see on Xarnax's end.
I'm a little bit behind, so just give me a second to get caught up here.
Keep on counting as we continue to go. All right. Thank you very much. So now let's head on over to that front because the wood sword could still be there. It definitely is a case where we could be seeing the wood sword still at the start, and that's exactly what both of these runners are wanting to do. But they're going to check caves on the way, and we find a money-making game. Now, the prices of the hints were shuffled, but the messages are not community. So that's telling me we might be dealing with a deceptive seed.
Yes, indeed.
We find
I think I'm
30.
all good to go
We
now.
find a 30 rupee, and the wood sword is at the start. We do have the extra candles turned on.
Oh, I'm still behind.
So both of these runners now with the swords in hand. So next thing you want to do, find out how many hits these enemies will take in order to be killed. Are the HP shuffled? Are we dealing with 0 HP? What do you like better in this setup here, Isolated?
I actually like to see randomized HP instead of 0 HP. And that's just simply due to the fact that 0 HP makes it kind of a button mash and go.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a 0 HP seed here.
Oh, joy.
So another 0 HP seed showing up for our runners here. At least that we can see through the moblins and Noctronx on Xarnax's end. And it's also showing up on the levers too. So it does appear that we have a 0 HP seed. Another thing you want to find out too is what is going to be the game here with the drop groups. Now we do see the shops are not shuffled because the same 3 items show up in that level 1 cave that would be paired together in a regular vanilla game. So there you go. I think we are seeing the shops will not be shuffled. So if boomstick is turned on, it would have to be the shop with a candle in it.
Yes, which also means that this will be the one of the rare times that you will not see the boomstick in a rare shop if it is on.
And we're being told that the enemy drop groups have been shuffled. In fact, the blue we got boomstick.
Oh, wonderful. So with that,
Xarnax showing that we have boomstick, and now also let's find out what quest we're on, because so far we've seen first quest stuff, and well, we got first quest here, second dungeon 2, or second quest level. Well, let me say that again. First quest level 2 is where it normally is. Words, they are kind of hard to say. But drop groups are shuffled.
That all day.
Blue levers are dropping more rupees than they normally drop hearts, because normally levers are part of that. Oh, we got an early book purchase here for Xarnax.
I actually liked this play now because at this point I imagine he's fairly certain that it's either gonna be first or mixed quest.
Magic key under the Armos. Beautiful find there for Xarnax, and that also will tell us that items are shuffled.
So with that, neither player is going to be worried about picking up any keys in dungeons, just because they won't need them.
And we have the first dungeon find on Drakhatos' end here. The grayish-colored would give me a belief that this is level 8. And if we needed more confirmation that we're on drop shuffle here, there you go from the gels. And if, once again, if the pallets are what they're supposed to be in the regular dungeons, we're in level 8 here on Drakhatos' end. The enemies have been shuffled, and it looks like we're dealing with shapes.
We're either dealing with shapes or we're dealing with pallet shuffle, and this could be level 6.
Oh, we got pallet shuffle, yes. As Drakhatos now dealing with gorillas, which is, of course, still not the normal enemy group you get in that dungeon. And on Xarnax's end, we got a pinkish colored dungeon, and we do not have Triforces in the Triforce room.
That is very good for these players to know, because now they'll know that they need to clear some rooms out in order to...
And yes, that was level 6, and we found the boomerang in what I believe is level 1, so it does not look like we are dealing with shapes.
So not having shapes means that the boomstick, while still valuable, it won't hold the same value that it would in the shape seed, because you have a pretty good idea of what walls are going to be bombable in level 9.
And
but it's still a very valuable item.
It's nice, but we can also see races that come down to still a magical, fun-filled bomb wall adventure here. And we get confirmation on both ends that we are not dealing with shapes, getting the dark room on Drakhatos' end, and Xarnax getting the map that clearly shows we're at level 1.
So we also have doubly confirmed enemy set shuffle. And Xarnax is going to be looking for the floor drop item in level 1 at this point.
Now, Goma creeps along the coast, which is to be true, but because of what we've seen by the shop text, we do not know if we're dealing with a deceptive hint or not until these guys confirm it for us.
We're getting some messages in chat that it looks like dungeon rooms are not cross-dungeon shuffled so far.
Well, from what we've seen so far, that is the case, because it looks like every room that normally is in level 1 is showing up in the level 1 that we've seen so far on Xarnax's end. Now, what we're looking for is the room that drops the second drop of this dungeon. Is it going to have anything good? What if this is where the wand is? That would be a big boon here for Xarnax.
Oh, yes. The ability to have essentially infinite bombs is always nice.
Oh, that's a drop room right there that has that dig dagger. Now, that's a possibility. We could be missing out on getting a second item out of here if that's the case. But he's going to kill these darkness to find out, to make sure.
Drakhatos has gotten the candle out of the bonus cave, so he's going to start burning his
we got the bow in level 1.
That is a really good find.
So
interesting to note that the boomerang and the bow were in level 1, which is where they normally are.
Yeah, it just only...
I'm going to check something real quick.
They're just differed there by the fact that the boomerang ended up being in the staircase and the bow being the floor item. But we do know items are shuffled because of the fact that the magic key was the almost item, and we now have a pickup of the book here on Drakhatos' end.
Yeah, I was just double checking to make sure that the ladder item and white sword item and all that were required to have the dungeon item shuffled flag be on.
And they do.
Okay, so we're good.
Yep. If the dungeon shuffle isn't on, the item shuffle isn't on, then you can't have any of the other things like the white sword, the armos, or the ladder. Those ones have to have that one particular thing in. So once we found the magic key as the armos item, then we knew that dungeon items have been shuffled.
Yep.
And the magic key pickup.
Where was level 1 again? I forgot to mark it down.
It was somewhere in Hyrule. I kind of forgot where it was.
Somewhere between here and there.
The money-making game in the Northeast is something that we're going to be seeing coming up in Drakhatos' end as Xarnax now makes his way over to the waterfall.
And we also can pretty well confirm that we are in standard first quest because Vanilla 2 and Vanilla 5 are both open caves and not lakes.
That is correct. So now both of these runners will be trying to figure out where other things. Oh, Xarnax meeting it face to face against a Lionel that decided, I don't think so. Back to stat you go. And
the double shoot that hurts. Especially being that far up with no ladder, that's a long trek to get back.
So we're going to see a little bit of Death Mountain excavation, and Xarnax finding, well, we got people who do not like him bombing into their caves.
Oh, Zelda's being quite direct about the money situation now.
And a minus of 20 rupees in the standard penalty here. And I did find it quite interesting that Drakhatos did, and both Drakhatos and Xarnax opted not to get the boomerang.
My guess would be that either they just didn't want to take the time to deal with it, and or they're waiting for a wand.
And we've got the bow pickup here on Drakhatos' end, and oh, nice dodging and a nice clock too on Xarnax's end, which prevented him from getting sniped by a Lionel to find a door repair message of minus 2 rupees. Now, I'm wondering what Drakhatos is looking for at this point after getting both of the items in here. Maybe he's looking for the heart container.
Either that or just a free bomb drop on the ground.
Oh, we got guinea farming on Xarnax's end. Although we don't know if it's going to be successful here because the drop group's being shuffled.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea, but with drop groups shuffled, it's a little bit harder. Not harder, but just it doesn't necessarily work as well. That's what I'm getting at. Works are hard.
Especially if they don't get the right drop groups. If they're the bomb drop group or if they're the rupee drop group, then it's all good. But if they aren't, it might be a time sink, and we find a dungeon in the Lost Woods over the Deadwoods, rather, on Xarnax's end.
It's even worse if it's the nobody group.
And we find Wizrobes coming in here on Xarnax's end and finds himself face-to-face with an orange beam that says, sorry, you've got to go to start.
And it looks like based on the shape and layout so far, I'm going to guess this is level 4.
That is probably a good result here. The good thing is that if Xarnax clears out this room, he doesn't have to deal with this room until he leaves the dungeon again. And seeing this room here kind of confirms that you are right. This is level 4. And nope. That's a nope. Those 6 blue Wizrobes can just stay right there.
That is a horrible thing to see. You walk into a room and instantaneously just find 6 blue Wizrobes ready to hug you.
And we find where the compass is here, which is going to be a good find. Hopefully there's no ladder blocks on the way to the Triforce, though.
Well, we could have an item room right here, so...
This is definitely the item room.
Yep.
It definitely is the power bracelet. That's a good find, because we don't know if the warps are shuffled just yet. We haven't seen any pop up. It's possible they're in their regular locations, because that's a separate flag, but it's still a good find to have.
The warps are shuffled because Drakhatos had found them at some point before, and he's got a couple of them marked.
Okay, that's correct then. So in that case, they could very well possibly be dungeons too. And it does look like we are not going to be ladder blocked in this level 4. Unless this is in the Chevy room. And luckily for Xarnax, it is not. Because he would be listening to this commentary later on in the VOD and be cursing my name because of it.
You're assuming he's not going to do that anyway.
You know how commentators' curse works.
Yep.
And the white sword found. And it is the white sword. And it's not grabbable at 4 hearts. And Drakhatos trying to set up a screech scroll, gets it on over, heads on over to level 5.
And in here, he will find the potion shop.
We're waiting for a very precious piece of paper.
So I actually find another 30 secret over here in Deadwoods.
And
It's a good way to help get his money up.
Lionel goes down, and it turns out that what was left behind is a shop. The Moblin has a white sword along the coast. Well, it does have a white sword, but it's not along the coast, so we can already throw that one to the deceptive pile.
Thus confirming, even if there was any doubt left, that we are in fact dealing with deceptive hints.
And so to the southwest corner does Xarnax go, and that's a nice time to find a bomb shop being down to one bomb, and southwest corner yields, well, there's the ring shop. Well, if you want your jewelry, you have to go all the way to the far reaches of southwestern Hyrule to get them today.
Or if you find yourself meat blocked and want that cheap meat.
And there is Xarnax now finding the warp. So this is going to tell him that that power bracelet he picked up in level 4 could be a little more important than he may have thought a few minutes ago.
In fact, he's probably going to go check this spot over here. No?
I think he wants to find out where all of these warps go first, and then he's going to proceed from there. And this puts him right out to Candle Row, so he's going to check these spots first.
For some reason, I thought he had gone through them all already. My mistake.
And we're getting some thought here from Drakhatos, trying to figure out where to go next. And Xarnax finding the 100th secret. Well, with the boomstick in hand, he would love to find where that wand is. Even though it's 0 HP, the wand is still so broken in this game.
Oh, yes. Given its large hitbox, its permanent range status, and the fact that it's a B button item, so the bubbles can't disable it, it's an absolutely amazing item. And kind of a shame that it's out of the way in all the 80% routes.
And we have the large shield pickup here, which would have definitely have helped Xarnax out if he had it before going into level 4 with the whiz ropes inside. But he's going to have it for future. It's not a bad purchase. I don't think he's going to be in any mindset to pick up the ring.
No, probably not at this point. And with that, the only thing he'd need to purchase is arrows.
And we have a dungeon find over on Drakhatos' end. This looks like we are dealing with level number 8.
I was about to say, this has a very 8 feel to it. Ooh.
Yep, the 4 on the bottom confirms it, and it does look like it is a cutoff 8. You have to go through that Goma staircase in order to progress, because the old man's blocking your path to the north.
So the question is, will Drak just go ahead and try to purchase the arrows, or is he going to try for this Goma clip?
He's thinking about it, but this Goma clip, it's very difficult because you got the fireballs, and he got it.
Got it. Very nicely done.
And I don't think he even did it with the sword going, so I think he just did it without a buffer. And, oh, jeez!
Another one.
Somebody get a hold of the Orkin, man. We've got a termite problem or an arachnid problem.
I always thought these were crabs. Just giant crabs.
They're nasty, no matter how you slice it. Oh, it's a Wizrobe 8 too.
That is even... I don't know which is uglier. The fact that you have to go through that Goma at the beginning, or the fact that it's Wizrobes.
Well, I think it's awful no matter how you slice it. And we find where the magical sword is. It's all the way on the top of Death Mountain. Obviously, at 4 hearts, one can't pick it up. They haven't mastered it enough.
Nope. Now, I don't foresee either player going back for it unless it's either on the way or they happen to find it at 12 hearts.
Wait a second. We have level 9 at the regular level 9 location. Where's the shuffled in that? And we have another level right next to level 9 as well. This one looks like, well, that's a nasty little Chevy room. And by seeing the Chevy room, that could tell us we're in level 7.
Yep. Especially given the location on the start and this four-way plot right here. Also, to answer your question as to where the randomization is, the same place where the bow and boomerang in level 1 is. That's where that randomization
That's a
is.
good point, and the map confirms that we're at level 7. And we find the Triforce room, but we already know Triforces won't be in the Triforce room this seed.
Now, what's interesting is the magical sword is right next to level 9.
That
So-
means it's going to come into play as both of these runners make their way to level 9 at the very end.
Exactly, unless they come in with less than 10 hearts.
Yep, and right now with 4 hearts, we do know that there's still the possibility of the shuffled hearts flag being turned off for the white sword and the magical sword. We won't get confirmation on that until we get a 5-heart check here. And Drakhatos back at start has to play dancing around with the Goma once again and almost gets it, but the Goma says, nope, try again.
And looks like we have a staircase in level 7 that leads about a couple rooms over. Maybe required, don't know about the bomb wall situation just yet.
And we have a heart container that's going to be trolling the crap out of Xarnax right there. Can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun.
He's going to up an A and still keep going into 7, which is interesting.
Well, the thing is that he got shuttered into that room, so he'd have to kill all the enemies. And the tough one is the one that's on the bottom, because your sword doesn't reach it. You would have the candle. That would probably have worked, but it's still a tough thing to have to do. And Drakhatos now getting it past that Goma.
With another excellently done block flip, he's going to be able to go back into level 8, deal with this Goma again.
Dancing around the Gomas, dealing with the Wiz robes. This is such a beautiful level. Number 8. Just what you want to see in your level 8s. Oh, there's the Triforce.
He's going to go look for the items, which I don't disagree with.
This here is guaranteed to be an item because we've already seen the transport staircase. So there's the 2 items that we got coming up. The item is the magic shield.
So if we weren't certain this is a boomstick seed by now, we can definitely be certain.
That's correct. And the pickup here of the magic shield on Drakhatos' end because he didn't spend the 90 rupees on a magic shield. And there's the compass in the Chevy room, which we know where the compass is. We know where the Triforce is, thankfully.
Yep. The Triforce is on the way to the compass, go figure.
And also, boss HP is not 0. It does look like it might be standard HP for the bosses, though, as we're seeing it here with the Lamolas.
So Xarnax is going to leave 7, and it looks like he's going to head back down towards the grave, maybe even towards Deadwoods.
If I was Xarnax now, I would be checking the power bracelet spot. And if we had any further questions about whether or not boss HP is shuffled, we get it with this Gleeok.
Don't you just hate when you're in a wizard dungeon, you finally escape the Windsrobes only to find yourself trapped with a 4-headed Gleeok?
Yep, with no defense, and the unfortunate thing about your magic shield is it doesn't work against those fireballs. He's going close, trying to get around. Oh, the head's dodged around here, getting this Gleeok. Can he get the kill off? Dancing around. He's got a few more hits left on it. Oh, it gets cropped to the side. No good.
Sniped by the floating head.
Start.
Looks like he is going to head out of level 8.
I've had enough of this dungeon. I'm going somewhere else. And I can't blame him. So as we continue through here, we will look on both of these players as say, obviously Drakhatos opting to get out, but okay, we found that white sword a little bit ago. That's going to come in importance here because now we know that the boss HP isn't shuffled. It's not set to 0. You want to get that white sword to help you against those.
But here's the thing: does Xarnax probably knows that the boss HP is non-zero because of the main handler, but I don't think Drakhatos has found the white sword yet.
He has not. He has not made it over to the Dead Woods yet. Otherwise, he would have made it over to level 4. But right now, I'm curious where this ladder is at this point. And we get the arrow pickup on Drakhatos' end, which is a good decision to pick up because you never know when you're going to find a Goma that just won't quit.
Such as the one blocking the staircase needed to get into the rest of level 8.
Bingo. And I think that's probably more why he ended up making this purchase, because he's making a beeline right back for that level 8.
And it could very well be that the ladder is deep in 8.
You are correct, and we're back in level 6 here on Xarnax's end. So with the arrow in hand, now the Skoma here is going to go down in 1 arrow, which is a good thing because he only has 10 arrows.
You know, I kind of like the irony that the hint about level 8 is blocking you from getting into the rest of level 8.
And no problems, although it did take him 3 arrows to get this. Now, will Xarnax go back in and try to figure out what's in this level 6? We never saw what was in level 6 on Drakhatos' end, and there's starting to become a limited amount of places where this ladder can be. Now, we know the ladder can't be in level 6, or rather, we know the ladder can't be in level 9, but where could this ladder turn up? And Xarnax is back in 6 looking for it, and Drakhatos grabbing the Triforce out of 8 now, and I think he's going to say, see you later.
You know, given its Wiz Robes and he has no defensive upgrades, I can see why he would want to leave and come back at a later time.
I'm thinking if this item turns out to be something important here on Xarnax's end, he could take a lead in this run. If this turns out not to be important, then Drakhatos is good for leaving it behind.
It's all about what gambles you decide to want to take while running. That's what a lot of these seeds come down to, is what do you want to gamble on? Such as Drakhatos taking a potion out of the final bonus cave.
Yeah, we see the potion pickup there on Drakhatos' end. I believe that's because that's his 4th any. So might as well get that so you can save yourself the rupees. We find a dungeon just north of regular start.
And it is level 5 based on the start position on the far right.
Yeah, because we already found where level 8 is, so... And the NSU room confirms that we're in level number 5.
There's our good friends, the Lynx. Normally Darknuts, but seeing as Drakhatos is a Darknut, they're Lynx now.
And hi there, Goma. How you doing, buddy? Now, here's the thing. It does look like, well, Xarnax is going to be blocked by 2 ways now. He doesn't have any bombs, and there's a possibility he could be ladder blocked. And that's good night.
You know, I think bombs are going to be a large factor in this race right now, just given that Drakhatos is at 4 and Xarnax is at 0.
And because enemy
and especially
drops,
once we get into 9.
And because enemy drops are shuffled, that makes it even harder. You don't know who you need to go to feast off bombs when you're going through these dungeons. But he does find bombs off the Moblin here. The blue Moblin's playing very nice to him at this moment. And again, the question turns out, where is this ladder? Because it now is starting to seem to become even more important. Ew, there's the tea room, and he's got 3 bombs. I think he hopefully will go to the right and try to get himself around it.
Yep. I think the tea room is set up, always has to be set up in such a way that it's not the only way you can go from the T portion to the outside portion.
Correct.
Simply because the logic can't demand you do a ladder clip in order to get through a dungeon.
You're never going to be required to do a ladder clip to beat this game. But there are times, and we've seen this already in one of the races in the week number 2, where knowing this stuff actually can pay off.
So I gotta pick up
And it does look like we are blocked right now on Drakhatos' end on that end. So the staircase is going to be required to get to the other side. And we're going to see him now make his way back over to the diamond staircase, which is on the left side of this dungeon. And pretty soon, Xarnax is going to find this level 8.
Yep. As soon as he goes back into that cave that he just opened up. But it looks like he's going to open all the caves and then check them as he goes.
And we did find a room with keys here. This is going to have the item. It's the red candle.
Which, 30 minutes into the seed, I don't think either player is going to pick it up, and Drax already left it behind.
So this ladder could possibly end up in level 3. We don't know where level 3 is at this moment. Could this be a chain reaction seed? And Xarnax going into level 8.
Well, it's either going to be in level 3 or in level 2.
That's right. We haven't found level 2 either, have we?
We have not. Let's see. I don't know or don't think it's possible for it to be in 7 at this point. I'm not 100% sure if it was ladder blocked.
That's still a possibility, but level 7 is a completely torturous place. And it's also possible that we could be talking about it in level 8. We didn't see the second item on Drakhatos' end. He ended up saying, nope, I'm done, goodbye.
Although we might see it on Xarnax's end because he's going through that same level 8 now.
Yep.
Ladder
And-
block from a Triforce
a ladder
in 5.
block! Oh my god! That's
That's-
awful, and that's the
Ooh.
only way into that! Oh!
And of course it would be a Goma in the room too.
Yeah, but at least this time you didn't have to kill the Goma to find
No,
yourself ladder blocked from getting it. But ow,
Yeah.
that's a bad place for it. And well, the search for the wooden planks continues for both of our runners.
Let's see.
So
Drakhatos is going to find one of the 100 secrets.
he is. He's going to be happy about it somewhat. Oh, we have a power
Power
bracelet required
required.
seed.
And this looks to be level 2.
Yep, this setup of the block room here just confirmed that we're in level 2, which means a third
wish
Wizard
robes.
dungeon.
You know, how many of these have we seen now? 3?
This is the third one. And the
There's-
heart container, which I'm interested that Xarnax did not opt to pick up.
I'm guessing he's going to grab it on his way back through.
I'm hoping so, but I would think you'd grab that through with the free ability to get through the spikes without getting hit. But he's going to have to come back into this room, as you mentioned before. He can trigger off these spike traps and be able to pick up this harp. Because I'm certain at this point in time, both of these guys know about the
He's
mechanic
skipping.
here. Oh, he still doesn't grab it.
Interesting.
Nope.
Don't want anything to do
Not
with
gonna
that.
do this room. Not gonna do with that room.
So, Drakhatos should find level 4 while he clears through Deadwoods, which is very good for him. Because it has that power bracelet that's needed for level 2.
Yep. A 5 rupee pickup here. Leah
And we
lurks
find
in the
another-
Deadwoods. That is the truth. Orange Wiz robes. Nope.
Ladder is in level 2.
Oh, ladder pickup here for Xarnax. A big find.
So now he's just going to go straight for the Triforce, and I don't think he's quite in Triforce and Go mode, but he's probably pretty close to it.
We still have yet to find level 3. There's still a possibility level 3 could end up on one of the Raft Islands. We don't know at this point. So it's also possible it can end up under Recorder Lake. And nice rupee boss after going through such great whiz robes.
Picking up that Triforce in level 2, and with the ladder in hand, his options have opened up significantly.
Now here's the thing. We don't know if the swords are shuffled at this point. If the hearts are. What if it takes 6 and he skips another heart container? Go back in. Get it. No, he's getting the potion. Are you kidding me?
I guess
What
he's going
if-
for a 5-heart run.
What if this is the seed that sword hearts are shuffled, and it takes 6 to claim the white sword.
Z-Man, that is exactly...
And he's skipping over another take, Eddie.
Like, okay. If you were going to stay at 3 hearts, I get that in the 0 HPC, because then you constantly have Beam Sword, but 5 is just weird to sit on.
And Drakhatos sees that room filled with nope and leaves.
A good decision on his part. You generally don't want to fight rooms full of nope.
Wow. And Drakhatos is probably really happy to see that that compass is not ladder blocked. And with 7 bombs, I'm not certain why he's going to try to kill this Dodongo to get the 8th bomb. But
he probably just wants to make sure he's topped out on bombs.
Okay, so Xarnax is going to skip over 3 heart containers, but he's going to pick up the red candle.
I think he's just following his own meta. Doesn't care what everyone else says.
Well, I think this is quite the interesting meta right here. Now, the good news is that as we know, he can pick up the Triforce out of this dungeon because he's got the ladder. We know Drakhatos has got to get himself close to start where he can pick up the head end to what turned out to be level 2, where the ladder is.
Now, given he has a power bracelet, which I'm pretty sure he picked up, will he head for the early power bracelet spots near start first, or will he wait for those and instead go explore more of, say, Death Mountain?
I think at this point in time, considering what he's explored, he's going to finish up by doing that last tree here in the Dead Woods, which he's going to be happy because then he can get the white sword. Triforce pick up out of 5 here for Ain't Got No Love Xarnax.
We should cue What Is Love up and just play it on his stream on repeat.
This is just interesting strats here. And there's the white sword pickup at 6 hearts here for Drakhatos. I would have absolutely loved to see him try to pick it up for 5 and to find out that he could, just so we know that Xarnax going for a 5-heart strat here isn't going to help him out. But it all depends on what level 9 has in store, because you got to remember, there's still a possibility Ganon's 0 HP.
Yep. Or not even required for that matter.
That's also a possibility too. Seeing 3 Wizrobe dungeons also does decrease the likelihood that we could see Wizrobes in 9, because that flag could be turned off, or rather the other enemies could be in level 9 rather, but we don't know until we get to that point. So to answer your question on what Drakhatos is going to end up doing, I think the play that he's making right now is what you'd think about doing. I am just surprised he didn't opt to do an up and A. But he's going to eventually need to get back down to that start area. Problem is that power bracelet slot's the only loose spot on there. We're still looking for level 3. Neither of these players have found it. That's the only dungeon that's eluded us right now, hasn't it?
Yes, which I'm starting to get the feeling it might be Raft blocked, given how much of the overworld we've already explored.
And we find where the letter is, and Xarnax ain't wanting to do that, having already picked up the potion out of one of the take-any shops.
And having another free potion ready to go right next to it because he skipped another heart container. So really the big advantage Xarnax has right now is the ladder. But outside of that, I'd say the players are pretty much even.
Yeah, pretty much. And this is going to come down to a case where whoever finds where level 3 is going to end up having the better advantage here, although Drakhatos is still looking for level 2, doesn't know that it's underneath the power bracelet slot, close to start. And he's going to end up checking these caves that we've just seen Xarnax do, so he's going to pick up the ladder real soon. Take any roads coming up here for Xarnax. So the question is, where is this level 3? We're going to see another power bracelet slot coming up here. Is this be where 3 is? No, it isn't.
Oh,
Meet
well,
the human
that was
on
a
Death
truthful
Mountain.
hint. Meet the human on Death Mountain, and that's where Max is.
That is correct.
Now, what would be interesting is if level 3 is at vanilla level 4's Raft spot, and you can get there by whistling because Whistle to New Dungeons is off.
Which we won't know because none of these players have grabbed the recorder, and we don't know where the recorder is, but we know it could either be in 6, 7, or 8.
Or 3.
Well, that's...
Depending on where 3 is, it could be in 3.
Yeah. We
If-
don't know.
Because if 3 is blocked by an item, whatever item it's blocked by can't be in there, but that only eliminates one possibility.
That's correct. And the more that we've searched this overworld, the more I'm starting to think that it is a case where we are going to be seeing another item required.
That would leave the question of which one will it be? It's more likely to be the Raft than the Recorder, just because there's more Raft spots than Recorder spots.
Returning back to level 6 briefly, did Xarnax. He's going to check this bottom right area, see where this could be.
Let's also remember that he is out of bombs, so if he finds himself bomb blocked, that would be an unfortunate thing to have to deal with.
And Drakhatos finding level 7 finds the Chevy room, and it turns out that Xarnax can't do much else about this level 6 on the bottom right quarter, so he's going to go investigate the remainder sector of this.
Z-Man is being very adamant about the fact that there was bombs in the arrow shop and Xarnax did not buy bombs.
He doesn't need bombs or hearts. He just shown us that pretty much for the last 5 minutes.
Okay, at least hearts I can understand a little bit more than bombs, but there's bombable. But unless you mean to tell me that he thinks there's no more bombable walls or that he's going to get a bomb drop, it's just... I personally don't see why you wouldn't buy bombs if it's right there.
I agree with you on that. I mean, he has 124 rupees. It's not like he's going to be buying a blue ring anytime soon.
And with his play with the hearts, he's already shown that defenses aren't a huge deal to him, so...
But here's the question. Here's the serious question. Does he have confidence he can do this as a 5-heart run?
He might. Or he might be thinking, I'm just going to go for the big gambles based on his previous matchups and Drakhatos' previous matchups.
Yeah. And the
He
other
might just
thing
be
is,
thinking, I'm going to go for big gambles.
he's already purchased the book, so he's not saving rupees for that, and we don't know where the wand is. But it's becoming more and more apparent, and I think this is why we're seeing him go through level 6, is that it is, well, never mind, he's leaving.
He's bomb blocked.
You know, there was a bomb shop that you bought arrows in. That's worth 20 rupees. You might have wanted to buy some, but you opted not to.
Yeah. I mean, he's either going full faith boomstick or full faith bomb drops. And I don't know which.
I just think this is quite a bizarre decision here. Maybe it's possible that he's playing this as if he's got to take chances, but even there, why would you skip over hearts?
What's interesting for me is I was thinking that we were going to see some crazy antics, unexpected things. This isn't exactly what I meant by that.
Nice strategy there by Drakhatos, clearing out the room, then going back in, knowing that once he cleared out the room, the heart was going to drop in the middle.
Yes, an easy way to get a good heart, putting him up to a total of What is that? 7? 7.
Uh,
And he's
two
going to
more,
go ahead and continue exploring.
2 more than what Xarnax has.
That would be 7. Now, what'll be interesting is if the raft is here deep in 7, and that leads to level 3.
That's a possibility too. Like, I don't remember what caused Xarnax to have to leave this dungeon. And we get a truthful statement from the Zyre, or rather from the Vire, that says on Death Mountain is an entrance to death. The redundant statement is true.
Good old redundancy department.
Yeah, we've got to have a real big discussion with them later on. They've got us to stop doing this to us. I mean, it's just too many words. We got to keep it simple, stupid.
Yes. Also, that was alliteration, not redundancy, so very good on that.
And here we go.
Item in
heading
7.
downward. And we find the item in 7. What do you think this is?
And it is going to be
Raft. The raft! And, oh, the magic shield at Xarnax's head! We already knew that was there, didn't we?
Yes, but this could be actually pretty big for Drak if level 3 is raft blocked.
Well, there it is. That's giving us some possibilities. Like, right now, Xarnax does have a brief lead. The fact that Drakhatos knows he needs the ladder. He knows he needs the ladder at some point in time. Hey, there's a Goma. How you doing, Goma?
I like to call this the Goma enemy set because all the bosses are Gomas. Except
I'm
for
not
that one
convinced.
Gliok that was just hanging out.
And we've got ourselves bombs. Wouldn't that have been something if that dropped the Triforce?
That would have been absolutely wonderful. Xarnax takes a death to a Gliok.
Yep, that magic shield ain't gonna help you against that Gliok.
Unfortunately.
Wise decision to actually go ahead and lay down the bomb before you actually lay down the bomb before you pick up the room drop.
It's definitely the proper way to do it, especially because the room drops don't disappear after a certain amount of time. Whereas if it's a floor drop, you may want to pick it up before just so that you don't lose it. Even if you only get 2 bombs out of it, it's better than getting 0.
That's correct. And we see another bomb drop right there. And
Another
Gliok returns to the
truthful
magic
hint.
shield. That is a truthful hint. No kidding, we already found it on both ends.
So it's starting to look like we might have a full clear of 7 to find the Triforce.
Oh, he found the magic shield again.
You wanted to make sure it was there. Speaking of Triforces,
Oh,
there's the one
Triforce in the
7
Gliok
first.
room. That's a nasty spot
deep.
for that.
That is right up near the tip of the nose.
And back into this room with the Gliok. Again.
You know, I'm looking at Drakhatos' map. He's about full cleared the overworld outside of the power bracelet and raft spot.
So I'm thinking, if I'm Drakhatos, go check the power bracelet spots, go check the raft spots. We know level 3 is going to have to be somewhere. And we see another path here.
Ooh. Let's see what he finds. He gets 2.
We see another path
Back to
through
where he was.
Hyrule here. Another clip through a Goma staircase here for Xarnax.
You know, he has the arrows. He could just kill the thing.
Well, we have the money.
Yep.
Like, this is just an
So it looks like
interesting-
Drakhatos is going to go check where level 2 is. Get that ladder.
And we have the final bomb laid down, and it doesn't work.
He might be bomb blocked again.
Ooh.
And
hi there.
Unfortunately, on the VOD, they may not be able to see the chat, but I think we just broke Z-Man.
And oh, look! There's a heart pickup.
Hey,
Drakhatos picked up
Drakhatos.
the heart in
Good
level
call.
2. And a potion used here for Xarnax.
He's gonna keep fighting this Gleeok to get through that door. What could possibly be on the other side of this door that could be worth it, though?
It
Knowing
better
what
be
we
the
know now.
recorder. It better be the recorder, or the silver arrows, or something of that regards. Now,
Which means it's going to be
any
the blue
lead that
boomerang.
Xarnax had is going to be whittled away. Oh, go away, blue whiz robes.
Drakhatos clearing the room out, though. Don't necessarily blame him, as level 2's drop is on the ground. And nothing behind that four-headed Gleeok so far, except maybe a potential bomb block.
Which he has none, and he doesn't get any.
I mean, he could have bought them when he was at the store.
Unbelievable. They're 20
didn't.
rupees. You could buy, let me see, 4 times 7. You could have bought 28 of them. And he's got to leave. And there's the ladder pickup there for Drakhatos. And at that point in time, advantage goes now to Drakhatos, who knows where the Triforce is in 5.
Yep. And he'll pick up the Triforce in 2 real quick. Which means all he's got to do is find level 3, which we don't even know where it is yet. Almost an hour into the seed.
So for those of you who are just tuning in, we're going to give you a rundown of the items that we have found at the 52-minute mark as Drakhatos picks up the Triforce out of level number 2. At level 1, we had the wooden boomerang, we had the bow. At level 2, we had the ladder. At level 3, we have no clue where level 3 is because nobody has made it to where it is. We're thinking maybe Raft blocked. Level 4 had the power bracelet. 5 had the red candles. 6 had... What did 6 have? I don't think
We haven't
saw
seen
it.
the item in 6 yet.
7 had the raft. 8 had the magic shield and something else, which we never found. We know that the white sword is the white sword. We know the heart container on the ladder is the heart container. And we know that we're dealing with a boomstick seed. That means silver arrows, red ring, and let me see. The recorder
Wand,
and the
blue
wand.
boomerang.
And the magic boomerang. Yes, those are the 5 items that we still have yet to find in this seed.
Now, we know that the whistle is either going to be in level 3, level 6, or level 8. And that's because it's one of those items that cannot be in level 9.
And a one trip here to the south here for Drakhatos, and now he will pick up his 7th Triforce piece, and back to level 7 goes Xarnax. So, if I am Drakhatos, go to the raft spots. Go
That's where he's
right
going
now.
He's going straight to Vanilla 4. Failing that, he'll probably go back to the coast and check that before he goes back into 6.
Because
or
he's
8
got,
the item.
I think that's all he's got left on his map, just taking a look at his tracker. That and the power bracelet spots. And no.
A door repair on the island.
Okay, so that didn't work. And because we don't have a recorder just yet, we got to take the long path.
But if I'm Drakhatos, I'm definitely checking the coast spot before I'm checking 6 for an item. But Drakhatos has bombs, so he can actually get to the item in 6 that Xarnax could not, if
Yep.
needed.
And I think at this point in time, that would be the importance would be is if there turned out to be Ganon was required and that the silver arrows were mixed out. And it looked like Xarnax taunted the heart and said no. And we find the bomb upgrade. That's a pretty prize for 5.
Yes! And given that Xarnax had no bombs at that point, he desperately needed them, but still is not picking up hearts.
Yeah, I know. He has not picked up the heart. We're dealing with the first quest Overworld, so we know that we're down to 1 raft spot and 1 recorder spot. Where can it be?
I think Drakhatos will pick up a bomb upgrade if he runs across it, but If he doesn't run across one, he's not going to go look for one.
And no!
Level 3 is a quarter.
Level 7, rather level 3, is going to be under the lake.
That means we have a delve back into level 6 and or level 8, depending on what's where. And we also know the item in level 3 is going to probably be useless. As it cannot be the whistle, and that's about the only thing they'd want at this point.
And so therefore now we see Drakhatos going back into level 6. Xarnax was in here. He was bomb blocked.
Drakhatos is bombs, though. But let's see if the item will be any good.
If this is the recorder, this is a quick, let's head on over to the lake and drain it and see if that gets us what we need.
I bet you the wand is in level 3.
That's a good possibility. I'm still wanting to see the red ring silver arrows not attached to level 9. We're at pick up here for Xarnax, which we now know is not required.
But for him, he doesn't know that yet. So
Yeah,
he's definitely going to go check those raft spots.
That's going to give him 2 more spots to check. This race still is very, very tight. We do not know what we're going to find in level 9. It's possible this could be a walk into Zelda. Oh, there she is.
Now, let's also keep in mind... Zelda's in level 6 now, what? I did a commentary for a seed like that where we thought Zelda was in level 7.
It would be interesting if we found their rooms early, but the problem is we are not going to find that case because, well, that's the way these flags work out, is that the rooms apparently are not shuffled between dungeons, between dungeons, and therefore we're not going to find Ganon's room until we get to level 9. We're not going to find Zelda's room until we get to a level 9.
Now, given what we know, all right, we have another helpful hint. And
that was a helpful hint.
Xarnax taking a death in the Triforce room.
Oh, he's got to make the long path back. Now, he probably wouldn't have died if he had more hearts.
Yes, and I'm actually thinking about this. If Ganon is required, Drakhatos can now survive 3 Hyrule drivers with full health.
That is correct. Well, no. On regular Tunic, he would be able to survive 2 Hyrule drivers. The third would kill him.
Oh, right. I was thinking how many would kill them, and somehow the word came out of my mouth as how many would survive.
Is this the other end of the staircase? Is this the item? It is the item. It's the wand. We got the boomstick. We're going back to level 8.
That is... Okay, so that now also confirms that if the standard fare is in level 9, Magic Boomerang is going to be in level 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to watch the flashing on your screen. We've got a boomstick. Boom!
The Seed. Michael Bay has now taken over as the director of The Seed.
And Xarnax making the very, very bad path back over to where he needs to go, but is down to 1 heart, so he's going to have to be very, very careful.
Also, for those of you who had bets on Laws calling Wanda in level 6 for 3 races, congratulations, you've just won a bunch of money.
If only... You're talking Monopoly money, right?
I was talking... what's it called? I was talking resources in Age of Empires 2, but okay.
Okay, fine. Well, Xarnax has a blue potion. He's going to use it with 5 hearts. Here we go. Time to deal with this 2-headed Gliok. This is just an any percent run rate at this point. Just go ahead and just stab it. What is it? 14 times. Getting bopped around twice.
Yeah. Xarnax, I guess, is making the 5 heart percent category.
There we go. Gliok down. And the question is what will he choose to do when he finds out the Raft doesn't work? because that's going to be the critical marker here. If he goes back to level 8, we've got a race. If he goes back to 6, that's going to give Drakhatos a little more time.
But also remember, if he goes straight to level 8, he won't be able to pick up the wand. Or rather, he probably won't look for it, which could give Drakhatos an advantage in 9 if it's really trolly with its bomb walls.
You also got to remember that right now, Xarnax does not have the white sword and has shown no desire to actually pick it up.
There's Triforce and Go mode, and then there's Triforce and Please Pick Up a Heart mode.
I think we're in Triforce and Please Pick Up a Heart mode. Like, this, in my opinion, is rather just unorthodox, although we are seeing Xarnax making his way what could be a play towards the white sword now.
That's what I'm guessing is he's going to go ahead and see if he can grab that. I really want it to be 6 hearts, like a lot of people in chat do.
And we see a potion used here on Drakhatos' end. Xarnax making his way over to the white sword. Is it going to be 5 hearts? Is it going to be 6 hearts?
Let's
We're gonna
find out.
Find out right away. Here we go. Master using it. You can have this. It is 5 hearts.
So we still don't know if that, what's it called? We still don't know if that flag to shuffle the white sword and magical sword hearts is shuffled yet. Because it's, I want to say it's possible. Oh, Xarnax has to pick up a heart here. He does not have much of a choice unless he up an ace.
Well, he actually has to
Wait,
pick up a... Oh,
what is
he's
he
going to
doing?
skip over it!
Oh, wow.
Are you kidding me? He's doing
All right,
everything in his
Xarnax
power
is
to
going
avoid these
100%.
hearts, and we get the recorder pickup here for Drakhatos, and now he can head on over to level 7. Are you kidding me? He is definitely deciding to skip over these hearts. He wants a 5-heart run.
This is no longer 5 heart %. This is now walking on water %.
This is heart avoidance %. And oh, recorder to the regular places.
It's wonderful. And
And
here's
a
level
quick
3.
access to level 3.
Oh man, this is why white sword should have been 6 hearts.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, level 3. Hey there, Goma. I hope somebody clipped that and puts it into the clip submission page so we can remember this for days, months, years to come when we're bored.
That needs to happen.
Yes. Oh my god. Well, Xarnax is definitely doing his best to avoid. He's back at level 6, so he's going to find the wand. I think he'll up an A. The way he's going about this seed right now, I think he'll up an A out of it.
Well, he already fought the boomstick book, so I doubt he'll just... Well, actually, yeah, anything's possible now. He'll probably pick up the boomerang in level 3,
Now,
too.
interesting decision here by Drakhatos, skipping over. Like, it's a very good possibility that we're talking red ring and silver arrows in 9, but not at least peeking your head in to make sure that's the magic boomerang. That's a very interesting decision.
Well, I think it's actually the right call here because level 3 is very easy to get to. You just whistle to 7 and you're there.
Right.
And it's so
but you're
quick
right
into the dungeon.
But you're right there. You might as well peek your head in to confirm that silver arrows were going to be in 9. Like, that's a very, very interesting decision. And now, if Drakhatos finds that the silvers to kill the beast lie elsewhere, he knows how to get back to level 3, but that's going to be time lost. I'd rather confirm that that flag is in play.
You know, after what we just saw, I don't think there's anything in this match that could surprise me, so he's just going for gamble %. Everyone's going for... My brain is broken now.
one pickup here for Xarnax. He leaves. He's going to have to go back to level 8. Entry into level number 9 coming up here for Drakhatos. And just go north and keep going north is the strategy most people use when you have no clue. And this would make 4 Wizrobe dungeons. And we see some Lemolas. Could they be guarding this? We got a Ganon required.
So if you're Drak at this point, you go back to level, what's it called? And you check to make sure the silvers aren't there.
Well, if I'm Drakhatos, I'm already in 9. I'm going to check these staircases. If I find the magic boomerang in one of these staircases, my mind sinks just a little bit.
It's a thing.
It definitely is a thing.
I have lost all ability to state words.
Pretty much at this point in time, all we need to know is what did Drakhatos leave behind in that level 3? Yeah. Like I said, if I was Drakhatos and I see that I'm in that room, I'm in the corridor staircase, it just would take no more than 3 seconds to peek my head in to find, oh, that would indeed be where the silvers to kill the beast are, or nope, they're in 9. I would confirm that.
It's a confirmation that you want to have.
So now the question is, where are the silvers? If they are here, you've got a lot of possibilities. You got a lot of staircases to check. You now have confirmed that you have to search this dungeon to find out where these things are. And we've got the recorder pickup here for Xarnax. And because level 3 is a quick whistle away, we'll see if he decides to poke his head into that staircase to see if the silvers are in that or if that's a magic boomerang.
Now, there is something else to keep in mind. Ganon is required. And if Ganon is not 0 HP, the health factor becomes an actual factor more than it already is.
That depends if they find the red ring first.
Lanmola guards the compass.
Yeah, but Drakhatos doesn't need the compass. He already knows where the Zelda is. Also, that may not be a truthful hint.
I am going to go out on the limb and say that because we saw Zelda's room being enterable from the south and I haven't seen it from any other direction yet, we could have the two of them in their potential normal rooms.
Yeah, I have every reason to believe that at this point. And I like this play here. Ooh, there's another 6 Wizrobe room. But 0 HP, you got the magic shield, you got boomstick. This was easy. Red ring pick up here in the top right corner where you normally find it in the regular game.
That makes it, to me, that makes it more likely that silvers are indeed going to be at 9 because those two are paired together in that flag.
Yeah, but we don't know just for certain. And Xarnax isn't even going to check the staircase. He's going to go to 9. So what if we have a case here, that rare case where one of the 2 items ends up in 9, the other one doesn't?
And I have seen that before. It's just, it's interesting that neither of them checked it.
Yeah, I mean, Xarnax didn't even see the room, so I can fault him a little less for not checking, although the questionable decision not to get any heart containers over the course of the last half an hour, that's been quite interesting.
We do know all the items except level 3, and and I think what it is even though it's a 50% chance of the actual item itself, you also have to consider the 50% chance of the flag being turned on or off.
Yeah.
And I think it comes out to like 75 or something like that if you do all the math out, which I don't want to do in my head.
Like, I'm more than certain, after seeing the red ring, would be to believe that we will find silver arrows here in this 9. Just in my play, I just would like to know for certain at this point. Okay, we're gonna get another potion here on Xarnax's end.
He's just determined to five-heart this. He's filled with determination, they would say.
This is still anybody's race here because it does come down to a matter of how fast one can find the silver arrows. And if you look at Drakhatos' map, he's got about 1/3 of this dungeon searched out, but there's still a lot of this dungeon still to go.
Hey, we gotta meet
there's
Guy.
the bait block.
If the bait is... Nope, never mind. I was hoping the bait was actually going to guard the silver arrows.
Yeah, we've seen that before, too, in some of these randomizer races.
Drakhatos is going to skip the Patra.
And the other thing you got to remember, we're dealing with deceptive hints, so we may not necessarily get a truthful hint here. Either way.
So now both players are just looking for staircases.
Absolutely. And Xarnax is going to get that confirmation in just a moment that he's looking for staircases, and he'll get it in about, let's see,
now.
5 seconds. There we go. So now the race is on. Where are the silver arrows to kill the beast? Are they here in 9 on the western wing, or are they in level 3 where neither of them checked?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot, indeed.
So at this point, the advantage would have to lie with Drakhatos from his red ring and his extra health.
Also a possibility that a staircase is required to get to where you need to go for the silver arrows.
As long as it isn't 3 staircases required, I'm good.
Well, that's a nice entry when you come out of a staircase. Hello, Wizzies.
It's normal for 9. I'm not impressed. 1 out of 10.
We're going to give this scores now?
Yeah. A 10 out of 10 is when you appear and you get hit with the beam before the screen finishes loading up.
Okay, I'll give you that. Nice clock there pick up here for Drakhatos, and I think we're going to see both of these guys try to make their way over to the west wing here. What is underneath the E? We find another staircase.
Nothing.
No.
Well, it's a stair, but not what he's looking for.
And we now head on over to the first L, and we find another diamond staircase here that is guarded by a Patra. Patra says, "You shall not pass. You shall not pass. I am spreading my wings out. You shall not pass."
Oh, my wings are gone. Now what do I do?
Just fly around in a circle.
Oh, I'm dead.
Ah! Nope.
Finds another bombable wall, and on the other side is statues.
And continuing to slide down, and nope, there you don't. That would be a locked door. But there's a diamond staircase here at the very bottom of the L, guarded by a few Ganon's minions. And
Silvers!
We have the silvers to kill the beast. The gamble paid off.
That guarantees that the magic boomerang is in 3. Now he just needs to find Ganon, and this race will be over.
Yep. Now we got the hint that he might be in the northeast. Is he really, though, in the northeast?
Well, I've got his stream turned up, and I think he checked most of the northeast, and he's got Ganon marked on his map, actually.
Oh, right next door to Zelda, too, yes.
So this might be over.
Pretty much.
Let's see. Yep,
Maybe
Ganon
one
is in the
more.
northeast. He hears him right now and is going
Here
into
it
the
is.
fight.
Yep, here we go. Will he be 0 HP?
And he can go straight to Zelda's room.
They're not in each other's rooms, yes.
Non-zero HP Ganon, so the white sword will help him out here.
Yeah, he's got to be careful, though. He
He has a
does
potion.
have a blue potion, yes, but he has to be careful to get that off and go in here.
I think given that he has Red Ring, I'd probably just tank a couple shots and get the stun lock set up like that.
There's 2, there's 3, there's 4.
There's 5.
And trying to get 6, but can't get it just yet. Waiting for him
There's
to come on
6,
over to the corner.
7,
There we go.
8.
So it does take the full 8 hits. Silver arrows go on down. Wait for the door to open to your right and get yourself a princess to be saved to go to 3-0. Drakhatos,
Or in this case, a Ganon.
Well, that Ganon as well. Drakhatos is now clinched a bracket spot.
Yes. We should have an official time in just a second here.
He has clinched a first place finish with a 1:14.53 according to SRL.
Definitely a good time to have with a seed like this, where you had to search just about everything.
Yes, how can I be first for this massacre of troll? Well, I honestly think the decision to go 5-heart run here on Xarnax's end may have been a big deciding factor.
Absolutely, because he took a lot of deaths, including one in the Triforce room of 7 that he really didn't need to take.
Yeah, and it just boggles my imagination that he decided to skip over all those heart containers. And with that ding, we do have Drakhatos joining us here for the post-race interview. Congratulations, you're 3-0. And we'll get him in just a moment here as Xarnax continues his path through level 9.
Thank you. My god, what was that seed?
Quite the interesting seed indeed. Required a power bracelet, required a recorder. Tell me your thoughts as you're playing along this seed.
I thought until the point where I left level 8 because of that Goma troll, then the 4-headed Gleeok troll, that I was so far behind.
And then it turned out that you weren't so far behind as Xarnax continues to level number 9. And we'll tell you a few details about this seed that allowed you to end up clinching the victory over Xarnax. But, you know, what were your thoughts when you're trying to find out, oh, God, where could this recorder be? Where could this raft be towards the end?
Ladder was the first issue I had because level 5 was blocked because of that river room with the Goma. Then, yeah, continuing to search the entire overworld, 100% cleared, oh god, and then to level 6, 1, great. So back to level 8.
Yeah, that was quite the interesting setup here. Now, your opponent Xarnax opted to, let's just say he skipped a few hearts along the way, and he's doing a 5-heart run.
And I thought I was worse with my amount at the beginning.
Well, there's one other thing he did. So, he did a world raft and decided to walk on the water instead of pick up the heart container to get around it and still do the world raft.
So he purposely skipped over hearts. And then died in the Triforce room in level 7. So, you're now 3-0. You've qualified for the bracket stage. Tell me your thoughts on making it to the bracket stage.
With that seed, I honestly didn't expect to get another win, but yeah, it's quite unexpected to be the 3-0 because the opponents I had weren't easy to beat at all because I'm not a veteran like Xarnax or Yunus, but yeah, I think I was a bit lucky to get that far.
Just taking a quick look at your stats here. Yeah, you knocked down Yunus, now you knocked down Xarnax. Who's next on your path of terror here? Who are you gonna take down the 4-0 group to make yourself 4-0?
Well, speaking about terrors, maybe Darkwing as the next one, maybe?
What kind of setting do you think best fits your abilities here? Like, what kind of setup would you like to see in your fourth race coming up?
The more random it is, the better for me, because my execution isn't that good. Even more because I had shaky hands in my run now. That was kind of difficult for ladders, no, not ladder, screen scrolls or anything, but yeah. honestly, I need randomness as much as possible, even more the second quest stuff. I think I had a few dozens of Ultima seeds I've done in the last few months, so I'm pretty confident that second quest stuff, regardless what it is, isn't much of an issue for me, so I would love to see that in my matches.
Well, we're wishing you good luck as you move throughout the next round here of the tournament. Definitely should be a fun matchup coming up between any of the remaining 3-0 competitors you have coming up. Have anything you want to add, Isolated?
Not particularly. I do want to say good luck on your races that are coming up in that 3-0 group. And hopefully, ever so hopefully, those matches are just as good as this one. Because this one is actually really close up until, I want to say, the decision from Xarnax to go 5 hearts, and then you finding the ladder in level 2.
Yeah, finding the ladder was definitely a big help for you in level 2, considering the fact that it was in a nice little Wizrobe dungeon and also Power Bracelet Blacked.
Yeah, I was very happy to finally find that thing because I wanted to find it way sooner.
And this also goes to show that just because you find a specific item later than your opponent doesn't mean that you're necessarily behind. It comes down to a lot of it can be routing, decisions you make. So I guess the takeaway from that would be never count yourself out if you find an important item like, say, the ladder later, because there's always that way to catch yourself back up.
Yeah, I had always in mind, like, if I screwed up that hard in my run now, how much behind or ahead was Xarnax, or did he have the same issues? So I had in mind that I was behind the whole time.
How about finding that Ganon was not in his own room?
Well, it was at least easy to find Zelda from simply running straight up, but afterwards, yeah, Ganon, I knew where he was then, so the hunt for silvers began, and yeah, I was hoping that Zelda's room was right next to Ganon with a door, and luckily it was.
Zyra, yes, we believe Xarnax knows Ganon needs to be killed, as he has seen that shutter door that did not open.
Yep, he did find out. Oh, there's Zelda's room. Oh, there's small little things crawling around in Zelda's room today with the gels.
Well, that would explain why she left.
Creepy crawlers. Don't forget, we got more races coming up here with the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament up ahead. We got Adigenos versus Putz 12. That's happening tonight at 10 p.m. We don't know who the restreamer is going to be at this moment, but it's going to have Z-Man and Dorkmaster Fleck on the call for that. Then tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Dr. J PhD versus Vic Nin. That's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern. That'll be on twitch.tv/Random Massacre. Also tomorrow night at 8 p.m., Random Effect versus Dragon Dart. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern. We don't know where that restream is going to be. At 10 p.m., myself, I'll be going up against the Seawolf 1. That will be going on here at JamEvil stream with Z-Man and Crimson Avix on the call. That's at 10 p.m. Eastern. And tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m., will be the nightcap between Unos and JSR2 Gamers. And we don't know where that restream is going to be at this moment. It's going to have Lost Cards Fan 23 and Liquid Husband on the mic for that. So a lot of great races coming up your way here in the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament as we move through week 3. A lot of 1-and-1s. They're fighting hard for their playoff lives, wanting to get up to that 2-win mark to at least get themselves into the race-off so they've got a little less stress for the final week.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you've also got to consider that there's still the 0-2s who are fighting for that chance to get into the race-off. And those races are going to be very interesting, much like the 2-0s, because there you might see some of the bigger gambles because that desire to win is just so strong.
And while I was going through that entire spiel, apparently we did find the silver arrows on Xarnax's end, I believe.
He did.
Yep, there it is. There's confirmation. He's got the blue tinted arrows in his inventory.
He's just got to go kill Ganon, rescue Princess, and wait. He's playing as the old man. I think he's going to be rescuing the old woman that normally runs the potion shops.
Yes, I do believe it. And he continues to search. I think at this point he is just trying to figure out where Ganon is. Although I have every reason to believe he knows where Ganon is. So I'm wondering if he's doing this to play with our minds just a little bit. And we'll find out soon enough, because he's now a room and a half away from Ganon.
He's going into Ganon's room.
Now, he did grab the red tunic. Did he get the red ring, or
I don't think he did.
Hyrule Driver takes 4 hearts away if that's the case.
Which at this point will now kill him.
He did not get the red ring.
Nope.
And Whistle Strats
recorded for Ganon, trying to serenade him.
Well, the Whistle Strats does stop the fireball from coming, so he's got time to pull out the potion. And again, another potion use. He has not gotten a single hit on Ganon just yet.
And he doesn't know that Ganon's not 0 HP.
Yeah.
Oh!
And a Hyrule Driver!
Quick!
And back to the start goes Xarnax.
Quick, put the meat on the ground. Ganon will be so distracted you can still knock him. Wait, that doesn't work? Oh well.
You can't feed the meat? You can't feed the meat to pig?
I know, it's weird. Pigs normally like meat, don't they?
Well, dogs don't know it's not bacon.
Well, it looks to me more like a... like, you know those like massive legs of meat or haunches of meat that you always see in fantasy settings? I think it's one of those. But I don't know what animal that comes from.
I don't know either. We were going to have to ask Xarnax about his decision to go in with 5 hearts instead of picking up some extra hearts on the road.
Yeah, I mean...
He does get a hit on him.
Ganon's non-0 HP and another Hyrule Driver.
Yep, down he goes. Get those Hyrule Drivers in there, guys.
I like Jacober's thoughts that the meat is made out of yak. It's yak meat.
Well, let's see. Round number 3. Who's going to win this battle?
It's right now Ganon 2, Xarnax 0.
This is the rubber match. Well, if it was a rubber match, it'd be 1-1 at this point, but we're not keeping track at this point. If only this was Link to the Past and it could actually have a bug-catching net to catch a fairy in a bottle.
Well, that's fine, but he doesn't have an empty bottle. He just has a piece of paper.
I don't think he even had the paper because he never grabbed it. He just got the potion based on the... another Hyrule Driver.
He walked into it, too.
Yep.
You know what? I think what Xarnax needs here is a fire rod.
I think what Xarnax needs right now is the Cane of Burna.
Yes. Cane of Burna the Drained Rupees? He's got enough.
That works.
I think he's going searching for the red ring? Or just health? Finds a Patra. Probably not what he was looking for.
I think he wanted hearts. Unfortunately, Patra takes hearts away. Although he did get him without getting knocked down, so maybe he will. No, he doesn't get any hearts.
Nope. Finds a hungry Wizrobe.
Yep. Grumble, grumble.
Hey, Ganon doesn't even feed his minions. What is he doing?
Yeah, that poor Wizrobe.
He does have
There
hearts,
we
though.
go.
Round 4. Fight.
Is this like the best of 7 here? Is this like the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Well,
There's 3. There's 4. There's 5.
There's a stun lock.
There's 6.
We
We
got
got
it.
him. Do we have him? We got him.
which is a good thing, too, because if he hadn't, he probably would have high-roll drivered instantly.
Xarnax is going to finish. He's going to save the old lady with a time
Let's
of
see what his time is.
1:24.
Huh. So that's a difference of about, what, 15-ish minutes?
And with that ding, we have Xarnax42 coming in to talk about this seed. Tell me your thoughts.
I don't know what could have gone better.
So, obviously, I think everybody who was watching the restream is wondering, why did you not pick up the hearts in levels 2 or the 2 that were for the taken? He's right outside.
I felt Beam Sword was more important.
Oh, that's
That's
a
it.
very good thought. Never even thought of that one.
I guess that would then, for me, leave the question of why 5 and not 3.
Because I've given me enough to pick up the White Sword, and
Ah,
I thought about skipping that until after I died to that Gliok in 6 or 8 or wherever it was. Then I decided maybe the White Sword's a good idea.
That four-headed one?
What's that?
The four-headed one in 8?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
He was asking if it was the 4-headed Gliok in level 8.
Yeah, that one.
Well, I know that one because it killed me as well.
Yeah,
Nothing like getting locked into that room, too, guys.
right. I mean, that wasn't. I mean, what really was my problem was just being stubborn and not wanting to use a potion. That
Okay.
came back to bite me for sure.
Let's just say that you got some interesting clips that are going to be posted onto the clip submission page of your interesting ladder clip
I thought that might.
on the world wrap.
And what else?
I said your interesting clip with the world wrap.
Yeah.
yes, the walk on water percent.
At that point, I was kind of debating like it's probably just smarter to take the heart and just move on. But I felt like I was so committed at that point to avoiding hearts that I just had to continue that.
So
But,
with the
yeah,
lost,
that was a seed.
yeah, it was an interesting seed. Now, how about the need of the power bracelet to get into 2, where you got the ladder, and how about the
Mhm.
recorder needed to get into 3?
Yeah, that. I mean, what really killed me was running out of bombs in 6.
Ooh, right, yeah, because you made one path through there, and then you had to
think
come
I did
back
that.
later to try to get the
I
item.
ran out of bombs my first time through, I think. And then when I was walking by it again, I couldn't remember if I was ladder blocked, arrow blocked, bomb blocked, or something else. And so I decided to just dive in again because it was looking like I was gonna need another item. And then I basically retraced my steps and ran out of bombs in the exact same spot. And that was a huge waste of time. But if I had either of those trips, if I had had bombs, I would have come out with the boomstick and would have been cruising.
Now,
You know,
go ahead.
to ask you about that. You were in the shop with arrows that had bombs in it. It seems like it might have been a good idea to go ahead and buy bombs there because you had the money, you had the shop. It was just right there.
Yeah. I didn't even occur, I had seen a couple dungeons with Gomas, and I was feeling like being Goma blocked was a strong possibility. So I went with the arrows. The bombs I figured I'd get from an enemy drop at some point. I didn't even think about buying them. Probably would have been a good idea.
With the launch, you dropped down to 2 and 1 in the tournament, but you're still already in the race off. You need just one more race to escape that race off and go right into the bracket stage. What kind of setup are you hoping for when you go into your week 4 race?
You mean in terms of the flags?
Yes.
That get selected? I guess it depends a little bit on who I'm. Yeah, it depends a lot actually on who I'm up against. If it's a strong any percent runner, then I want a seed like this one. Well, probably with shapes too. If it's somebody who's more familiar with randomizer and less, I guess just has less repetitions on any percent and the combat and all that, then something more vanilla would probably be to my advantage.
Well, we wish you good luck in the next match. Thank you for giving us some interesting moments to talk about during the course of this run here. Let's give it up for both of these runners. Anything you want to add, Isolated?
I do not. Everything that I wanted to ask both runners, I have asked.
All right, let's give it up for both of these runners here, Drakhatos and Xarnax42. Thank you guys for the run.
Thanks for the restream, Jam. Thanks for the commentary. Thanks for watching, everybody.
All right, we do have one more race coming up tonight. It's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be between Adaginos versus Putz 12.
Well, be good.
We'll see if Mate Percent comes into play at 10 p.m. And we do know that the restream is going to be here on twitch.tv/JamEviler. So slap a big old follow to this big hardworking boy, JamEviler, to make sure that you're going to be notified when all of these tournament races are going live. Z-Man and Dorkmaster Flex is going to be on the call for that one. And as we mentioned before, we do have 4 races tomorrow. Dr. J, PhD, Vic Nin, Random Effect, Dragon Dark, myself versus the Steel Wolf 1, and Unos versus JSR2 Gamers, beginning at 6 p.m. The early race between Dr. J, PhD, and Vic Nin over on twitch.tv/Random Massacre. So be sure to follow. And again, what a great race here. We've had a lot of fun. What do you think about this, Isolated? Your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are, I've never seen 5 heart percent. I've never seen water walk percent. And this is definitely... It's weird, because I want to say this is one of the most fun races that I've commentated on. But all of the races I've commentated on have been exciting, so it's like hard to compare, really.
Well, we are going to be looking forward to a lot more great races as we continue through this entire tournament. We still got a lot more races coming up for this week, and then, of course, a lot of great make 'em or break 'em races coming up in week number 4. So let's get on out of here. I've got dinner's percent to run for JamEviler, the hardworking man behind the scenes, for the Isolated 999. I'm Adirondack Rick. Take us out of here, Isolated.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please do enjoy the rest of the races. Follow all the runners, all the commentators, JM, and everybody else that restreams. Just follow everyone. That's the easy way to say it.